So here we are again. Hello, good morning. It's a different meaning to the term good morning. And what we are aiming to do is settle here as our inner home. This being in the heart means being in our center. And maybe this doesn't make a lot of sense, and now I am obliged to explain it, right? You can't come up with bombastic titles without explaining them. And you see here, probably you don't see here, you probably just feel the energy of something that is standing over there, that since you are over there, I will explain. Even if I got it closer, this is going to mean nothing, I guess. And yeah, that over there. Not sure anyone is going to see. Maybe we can take it out, okay?
Over there. You want to put it over there?
Just above my head. Then I will feel also blessed with chakras. I think you will do it more elegantly than me. Yes. I will just start explaining and this is the one element that I didn't explain just before the meditation, and that is how I came to discussing so much the heart as what we can call the key solution to our human life, to the way we should act in the world, and to the meaning of life. So, quite many years ago, I always sound very old when I say that. Many years ago, I was introduced into the world of chakras through the one who was my spiritual teacher for 7 years. Thank you. And there I was educated, obviously, in the traditional way. The traditional way means that you basically treat the chakras more or less as a ladder. You know a ladder? That you climb, you climb, you climb. Now, when you use a ladder and you want to reach up there, after you have reached, you don't need to use the ladder. You just put it behind, unless you want to climb down, obviously. And thank you for that. And so traditionally, climbing the seven chakras means that you are moving up, 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 and when you have reached the top, you don't need anymore all the lower chakras to a certain degree. And that was the way I learned to perceive the chakras, the chakra system, and also the way I began to taught everyone. But then one day, makes it sound like a revelation. I don't even remember that there was such a day, but one day I came to realize something really interesting about the chakra system, that it has a center. There are 3 lower chakras. There are 3 upper chakras. But something here is just in the middle between 2 worlds. This started to become very meaningful because I've realized that our heart is what connects these 2 worlds. And this is the first thing that we need to understand about the heart chakra. I'm going to talk this morning about what I call the subtle anatomy of the heart chakra. It's a geography lesson. Okay? I'm just introducing you to the territory, to know what it's all about. So the first thing that I came to realize was that the heart chakra is a bridge chakra. Imagine just like a bridge that makes the upper move to the lower and the lower move to the upper. That was actually very meaningful and it also made a lot of sense. What our heart does is always to include everything. When it's open, when it's active and awakened, our heart is a peacemaker. It loves peace. So it never likes to reject anything, to say this is not, I don't like it. This is the mind's role, to divide, to distinguish, to make distinctions. We need them sometimes. But the heart doesn't do that. The heart doesn't judge. It loves to embrace everything. So then it made a lot of sense that it actually serves as a middle point between the 2 worlds. And what are the 2 worlds? These 3 lower chakras, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, it's the world of our instincts, impulses, feelings, basic primal feelings and wills. Have you ever tried to just live based on that? Maybe we did for some time, to be just instinctual, impulsive, and willful. So that's one. And on the other end, we have the 3 upper chakras. The upper chakras are connected to communication of ideas. They are much more abstract, and they are connected to thoughts, to mental activity, and to spiritual perception. So think of it as the heaven of our being, and this as the earth of our being. We obviously need these 2, but we need something that blends them into one human being. Now this is where all of these energies blend and begin to make sense. For example, you cannot act from your uppermost chakra, because you're too far away from being a human. Nothing makes sense. You are too distant and too ungrounded and too formless. And then from here to function, obviously we've tried that too, right? This means being completely instinctive, desirous, impulsive, and and under the dominion of will, wanting. But here you find a place from which you can act, because it's connected with the meaning of being human. What really matters? What are the true values that should guide us? It's like a compass that shows us the way and also governs the 3 lower chakras and even guides the 3 upper chakras. So that's the bridge chakra. It negotiates these 2 worlds and creates something that is a new type of creature, which is a spirit in human form. This is what we are right now, right? At least as long as we are here, we are sort of a strange combination between a spiritual being and a completely earthly, very much connected to the animal kingdom and to the plant kingdom. That's why here, when both worlds meet, everything begins to make sense. There you are, what you're meant to be right now, and where it feels like the part that connects you to your innermost core. Because it's innermost, and the lower chakras and the upper chakras, they encompass it like almost like an onion, like layers. It is also something that we believe that needs to be protected, right? Because what is our innermost is our gentlest. It's what we don't want to make visible. It's almost like a secret. But the thing is that as long as this innermost doesn't come out to the front and becomes the center of our being, we live in disconnected from the experience of point and meaning. So that's the first thing we need to understand about the heart chakra. It is a bridge. It connects it balances our spirituality and our humanity. How it does that? It does that through the world of emotions. To be continued about that. The second thing that we need to understand about the heart chakra is that it has a right side and a left side. This is something that not many people deal with, and that is the right side and the left side of chakras. The right side is connected to what we call, of course, very energetically, masculine, active, and fiery. It's the ongoing part of our chakra. The left side is connected with energetically feminine, and I'm saying energetically because sometimes people are insulted when I say masculine and feminine, as if it has anything to do with gender. But this is completely unlike it. Because we are meant to embody both halves of the chakra, you see? In quite a balance also. So the right side, the masculine, and I'm sorry that I painted it here on what is obviously the right side properly when we look, but it should be the other way around, the right side of the chakra is, of the heart chakra is all about our capacity to give. I don't know if you have seen sometimes in ancient images there is the sage showing an open right hand. The right side of the heart chakra includes the right side of the heart and all the way to our hands. Also the right shoulder, but this I will speak of specifically. It's all about how much we feel that we are able to give. And sometimes we feel that we have little to give and that we need to receive before we give. And the reason we experience that is not because necessarily we are traumatized, but because we have not activated the right side of the heart chakra. Because on the right side of the heart chakra, we can connect to an overflowing capacity to give at every given moment. The heart chakra is generous. It can give, so it's connected to the way we can serve, what we can bring from within ourselves to the world in the form of sharing. That's why the right side is also connected to our, what we can call our soul mission. What I am meant to do in the world. When our right side is not active, we not only feel that we don't have something to give, but we feel this empty-heartedness. And through this right side, we ask this question: what am I meant to do in this world? What is my role? Do I have a role? Do I have my place, my active place in the world? So that's quite a deep search, right? And on the right side, we can feel also the heroic part of the heart chakra. For example, the courage, the self-sacrifice, the choosing to listen to our heart even when things become very difficult. We need to connect actively, and that's the right side. It's connected to passion, generosity, service, love in action, heart abundance, and this type of heroism. When we choose through our heart to overcome and to choose what is beautiful, what is right, what is true. Then there is the left side. And the left side is also quite important. I'm joking. It's 50% important. And the left side is the feminine or passive. Again, please remember the difference is the right side is outgoing, active, engaged. The left side is connected to our subconscious, to our inner world. The way we communicate through feelings. So the left side of the heart chakra is much about acceptance. In this, you can include the self-acceptance, the way we can embrace ourselves, the way we communicate with ourselves, whether we can do it in a non-judging, sweet, soft manner. The left side of the heart is connected a lot to sweetness. It's the part where we can relax, and embrace. The part from which we can experience compassion, not judging others, loving unconditionally. It's very funny because in Jewish Kabbalah, there is what is called the tree of life, and in the tree of life there is a depiction of divinity. It's like the body of divinity, and the heart of divinity has a right side that is called Gevurah, which is heroism. And the left side is called Chesed, which is grace. So here, this left side is connected to the feeling of grace, of our connection with our own voice of the soul, and with the feeling of divinity, being able to recognize the divine in everyone, including in ourselves. So these two parts are very important, as you can understand. We always have some imbalance, more than in one more than in the other. You see, some have imbalance because they're giving too much, or that they have become identified with the role of givers. They serve, but they don't know how to receive. You see, that's the receiving hand, where you are. If you are open to receive, then this receptivity, what you receive, flows all the way into your heart and makes it full. But what happens if you don't know? Pay attention when you're in arguments with people. Sometimes we clench one of the hands. This is actually very meaningful because the hands are the extension of the heart. We close our right hand when we don't want to give. For example, when we don't want to be generous in an argument, and the other pushes us to give something that we don't want to, because we don't want to lose. We want to be right. Then we sometimes clench our right hand. And sometimes when we find it hard to receive, we clench our left hand. So just pay attention and notice how balancing it is to just leave your hands very loose with the fingers separate from one another. It's like a sort of a mudra, a hand posture that can create and add some balance. So we need to learn how to receive. Because we can be very demanding on our left side of the heart chakra, like wanting to be loved, but then when you are loved, you just push it away, and then nothing really comes in, and then you feel even hungrier. You see? So that's the thing of the left side. There we deal a lot with, of course, issues of self-acceptance, but also with issues of loneliness, dependency, the need to be recognized, the need to be heard. So you're starting to get the picture, right? We will need, of course, we will work on all these levels that I'm talking about in the practices. Now we have another thing that you can't see, which is the upper part of the heart chakra and the lower part. This is also something that is not commonly spoken of, that we have a lower part of the heart chakra and and upper part. And the lower part is what we can call our human heart. It's the part that also accumulates. I know that some traditions talk about the heart chakra as something that is so perfect. There's nothing to heal or clear away. But actually, there is a lot to do there in the heart. We'll speak tomorrow morning. We'll focus on what we call the broken heart. This experience of a heart that is incomplete because of some memories, traumas. And so this is where the broken heart is, if we have a broken heart. This is where we accumulate all our human experiences of the heart, our disappointments, the experience of betrayal, abandonment, of feeling lonely or neglected. And this is the part that needs to be healed, obviously. It needs to be healed because it is connected deeply to what we call the wall. Do you know the feeling of the wall around the heart? The wall is because the heart is so beautiful and it is so pure, gentle, and innocent, our mind tells us you'd better wall it up. You'd better cover it up with some defense mechanism. So the lower part is the part that creates this feeling of something that separates us from the outer world. So when we get hit, it hits the wall instead of what we perceive wrongly as our very delicate heart that can be immediately squashed. You see, because one of the greatest myth of the heart is that it is such a delicate flower that it can get squashed quickly. And actually, when we do the opposite, we realize that the heart is actually the most resilient part in us. And it actually glows even more when things try to get it squashed. You see, it becomes bigger. It's like a flower that can open up even more. That for tomorrow. So this is the part where we accumulate. The upper part of the heart is what we can call the spiritual heart. And the spiritual heart doesn't need to go through a process of healing. It's already awakened. It just needs to be more conscious and consciously communicated with. But it can only awaken when we trust enough and resolve much of our issues of give and receive. In other words, when we feel that we are ready to activate more our giving part, because we have understood what receiving means, and we no longer require it. At least not in the desperate way. So that is the part that we can call our soul. This is the part that is deeply and directly linked to the soul and to what we feel we're meant to do here. the part that has godly aspects in it. It's like the divine part of our heart, the heavenly heart, and it really has nothing to do with our human heart. And it can be, when it is activated, we realize we don't need to wait for processes to end. We can love right now or serve right now. We have this direct connection, even if here it still feels a little sore. Then there is what we can call the front side of our heart chakra and the back side. You don't need to remember the exact geography, don't worry. You need to take the essence of what I'm saying right now. But the front side of the heart chakra is the way we communicate with the world. This is the part in which we are in interaction with people, with everything in this world, the part from which we respond to the world, and obviously the part that deals with our relationships in the world. That's why this is also the part that gets to be closed. When we say, I feel that my heart is closed, it's the feeling of the front side. It's because it's like, think of a beautiful flower that simply withdraws into the darkness. We will deal with it a little with the meditation after the break, but what we need to understand is, if we could learn the trick, we could master the trick of just pulling our energy outward instead of letting it sink inward, we would immediately experience a change in the condition of our heart, you see? Because when we feel that it is closed, we can actually consciously open it up. You can do it right now. It's like the feeling that you're not withholding, you're not holding back, but you're actually opening up and facing through your chest the world. So that's the process, and obviously this is where we need to work a lot. On the front side, the back side is actually much less common, and it is connected to our connection with the divine. Remember, the heart is all about relationships, but we have one more relationship, not only with our husband, with our partner, with our dog, with our patients or whatever. We have a relationship with the divine, with God, with the source of life. And that's in the back side of the heart. It's whether we feel supported, whether we feel that our heart leans on a greater heart, what we can call the universal heart. Do we feel that divinity has turned its back on us? Most probably it's we who have turned our backs on it. But whatever is the case, there is a process there that is connected to the feeling of being supported by the source of life. So imagine that, and it's not something to imagine, it's energetically, it's real, that there is a sort of a thread that comes from the front of our heart, that then connects us with everything. And this is what the Buddha called the interconnectedness. It's literal. And then there is the thread that connects us to all the way to the source of life. The feeling of being loved by the divine, supported, and feeling supported to give. So that's an important issue, obviously. And then there are two last elements. One is the shoulders. Do you sometimes feel like you have a heavy burden on your shoulders? You know that we sometimes say, I don't know, again, if in German there is a term that, like in English, or describing a feeling of burden on one's shoulders. Yeah? Well, even the Germans believe in chakras. That's good. So, because it's also in Hebrew. So that means that it's a universal language. Isn't it beautiful? That everyone knows it. But then if you tell anyone heart chakra, then they will say, what are you talking about? That there is something in me. There is only a physical organ inside my chest. But we all speak of the heart chakra endlessly. And we even say, I want to reach the heart of the matter, right? The heart of the issue. Or we say, at the heart of the human experience, there is this and that. The heart is literally the core, the center. So, then there are the shoulders, where we can feel heavy burden. And sometimes we can physically feel a heavy burden. And that's connected to our sense of responsibility. Remember that we said that there is the right side that extends all the way from the right side of the heart to the hand, and also to the right shoulder. On the right shoulder, we feel the burden of responsibility. When we start giving too much, when we are too much in service, and taking the burden of others on our shoulders. We start trying too hard. For example, think of it if I had my position in this seminar, that I must make all of you understand and be happy at the end of the seminar. Now this is crazy. No one can take such a horrible burden, like making everyone, each one of you fully satisfied. So then I would overload my right side of the shoulder. It's the feeling that the fate of the world is on my shoulders. That I need to carry everything. And the left side of the shoulders is connected to worrying. When we feel responsible, but not in the active way, but more in the way of worry, fear that something might happen to someone. And this is again connected to the fear, to this heavy feeling that we are taking on our shoulders something that we can't. It's not for us to control. For example, having a child and wanting the child to be happy exactly as you want the child to be happy, keeping on worrying about this child and trying to control their lives, okay? So trying to control their lives and to make them happy, or worrying about them secretly, in both cases, it's not realizing that you actually share the burden of your children with life, you see? It's mostly children belong to life. We understand that, right? But so when we begin to understand the whole topic of the shoulders, we learn how to give without expectations. How to not try to control the results, but to actually be able to be responsible without making it insane. Okay? Good. And the last one is the sandwich. And the sandwich means that the heart chakra is squeezed between two other chakras. One is the third, and one is the fifth. And this is very important because this feeling of sandwich, sometimes we actually feel pressure or heaviness. This is connected to the fact that we're not realizing that what needs to be in dominion is the heart and not the solar plexus, which is all about our individuality, and not our throat chakra, which is all about our self-expression. The heart in the middle is actually, again, it blends the energies from above and below and makes them sweet and loving. You know, if I just try to express myself from my solar plexus and from my will center and from my communication center, you can imagine what it sounds like and what it looks like, right? There is no tenderness about it. It's all about me. Add to that, if my heart is closed, it means that I basically don't care about the one that I'm communicating with. So the heart is amazingly important for expression, for the way we come out, because it immediately adds to our entire expression gentleness, caring, sensitivity. It balances our need to be recognized and heard with the realization that we are actually in a situation, you see, that includes more than one side. So these are the 6 elements that we should memorize until tomorrow. It's a joke. And be tested on. The most important element is to realize that the heart chakra is our bridge chakra, which connects our heaven and earth and makes our human life meaningful. That what we are really as humans is hearts with legs. And if you begin to think of yourself as a heart with legs, it will make much more sense than any other identity, self-identity. Second is the right and left, which are all about the balance between giving and receiving. Third is the upper, the heavenly or spiritual heart chakra, and the lower, earthly, human. Then we have the shoulders. Remember? Right side, left side, responsibility and worry. We have obviously the sandwich, which is connected to our realization that the heart chakra cannot be bypassed by the solar plexus chakra and the throat chakra. And we have the last one is the front side, which is about how we communicate with the world, and the back side, which is how we communicate with God, with our most important support. All of these elements together, they are deeply related, obviously, to the heart chakra opening. All of them will appear in our talks and in my answers to you and in our practices. And when you are aware of these elements, perhaps you will even be able to be conscious of the processes within. You see? To actually feel that certain things call for attention, like if I'm feeling pain in my right hand, perhaps it's not just something orthopedic, you see? Perhaps you've given too much, felt responsible too much, and if I'm feeling here, perhaps I haven't learned to accept, to let go, to relax, to embrace myself, to stop judging, and so on and so on. So, I've spoken a lot, and now I would like to see if there are any questions.